ends up out when he, stops being a dragon, he is gonna have half HP, and you wouldn't really want that if you're a Yuzhong.
That's right. I mean, the problem with that is if you're a Yuzhong and then you dive into the Chang'e, you have to be 100% sure that you're gonna be able to do something, that you're gonna be able to. Looks like Renegade doesn't really want to get the buff. We're back in the game. He just wanted to push them back and delay it, right? Because right now, H2O is doing the buff on his own on the other side of the map.
Renegade here will actually secure that red buff, and it's actually a really good move coming out from Next Play Solid.
Yep, beautifully done there, and that denies them. That's a very big denial in not just the buff itself, but for the experience. Now you'll see a lot more power here coming from the FAMs, and that's going to be a lot more difficult for the Yuzhong to actually win that lane. Because of that, he's going to get level 4 ahead, unless BLACKLIST International does some really, really smart plays. Right now, I'm not sure what they're trying to do. They want to go for the fight right away, and looks like they have so much trust in Folklip with this one.
Yeah. I'm seeing it right now as BLACKLIST International not really going ham in terms of just engaging the enemy, just because they don't have the red buff. I mean, it's not, it's really a big of a deal if you think about it. Like, your potential, your capability of just joining the fight at this early. I mean,
right?
that engagement, if Link had his orange buff, they would have gone in head on, and they would have punished MP hard. But the thing is, they don't have it, and it really stops, BLACKLIST International from just being that aggressive team, and I think that is a win onto the side of NXP Solid for the early game.
Right. I mean, early on, you remove that. I mean, we all know why. A lot of pro teams, they keep forcing those invades. They do it for a good reason. Denying a big buff, especially that buff, the orange buff, is such a big deal, especially for the main carries like Ling. If the Ling doesn't have the orange buff, it becomes a lot more difficult to take down targets because the targets can just walk away or run away from the Ling. The orange buff has the slow, which stops that aside from the burn damage. And giving it to Renegade, they imagine these Butters. They spent only Renegade effort to get that, and they're getting their returns right now.
And look at this. That was literally a 1v2, and Renegade, just because he had this orange buff, it gave him the extra potential to fight. It gave him extra firepower, and they will just go back. And that is a very uncharacteristic of being a defensive side laner. Because the thing is, you should be the one who's going back. But then again, is that going to be another steal on the side of Next Play Solid? No, Folklip will secure it with his retribution.
So they're not super ahead, but Next Play Solid are doing a great job in getting the area secured for their own side. Now, Yaoi is the level 3 on the hill. He's the front line here, trying to see if he can stop and zone here. BLACKLIST International, they want to go for it. Lolita with the ultimate, and looks like Edward's gonna steal it with Kagura. That's a big Phalanx fight as well, and Edward gets first blood, followed shortly by the lane.
Aqua on the other side of the map, he really takes down that Chang'e. And Next Play Solid, that is one fight that they did not want to take. BLACKLIST International Eson here, just showing his veteran moves.
Man, this is decision making, right? The question there was whether or not your heroes are strong. It's whether or not you make a good decision to go in. And that call was just beautifully done. Let's have a look at the Gillette instant replay. Razor sharp accuracy there for Edward's retribution. And because of that, 2 kills and a turtle. Go to their side, make that 3. That is a lot of resources going over the BLACKLIST.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is your instant replay brought to you by Gillette. #Shave the day. And on to the bottom lane, there is a bit of a, scuffle there. I'm not really sure what happened, but H2O, they were just poking, and BLACKLIST International, I feel that they had engagement in mind. But to be honest, at that point on, it would have been really scary because a lot of the members of Next Play Solid were preparing to go down.
Yep, I think they already were, right? I mean, oh my gosh. Next Play Solid, the problem there was Yaoi was also not ready to go for the fight. He was level 3. And we'll have to wait and see if that's gonna result into more here. But right now we are here. We are trading towers top for mid for Blacklist and next play. And we'll have to find out whether or not MB and Yaoi's gonna be doing anything here in this fight, because right now they're looking really hard pressed for backup. Where's the backup?
But Yaoi going in, he just tries to steal it. Hilda isn't really working, but look at that. A two-man luminum blast. Chester here will be the next target. He will go down. And that rocket coming out from that Lolita pays off. And look at this Lolita in an MPL-6 game. What is happening and what meta is this? Blacklist International. What the hell are you guys doing?
And remember when we were talking in the qualifiers? Oh no, we're not done yet. They still want to go for it. Renegade, you gave us such a hard time earlier. Now we want to go for a fight. Aqua and Eson going in, and they're having a hard time actually getting Renegade low. But right now, without the ultimate, will he be able to fight? It's a 1v1. Those are two very big meaties. And with a disengage from Chester, will be helping stave off the attack. But on the other side of the coin, man.
Look at this, Dexter with his signature Numinous Blast catches two people. H2O gets away, but oh my goodness, this is a surgical extraction coming from Blacklist International. They're not letting Next Play Solid get anything their way.
Dude, I'm super surprised here at the same time, because you remember back in the qualifiers, in Season 6 qualifiers, since late last Season 5, a lot of people were dissing on the Kagura pick. A lot of people hated the Kagura pick. They're making it work so well now with Edward. I'm kind of trying to wrap my head around why, but what I'm thinking right now is because Kagura isn't the focus here. The Kagura is basically just a side arm. Like, if you have Full Clip and Aqua as your primary weapon, you only have the Kagura as a secondary. But the secondary weapon is doing a lot of headshots. That's what's happening.
You know what? I take it very literally. Popol and Koopa and Kagura is the same. Hear me out. You have the umbrella as a dog. When you collide with the umbrella, you stun someone. When Popol and Koopa, when Popol casts a spell against the enemy, it bites the enemy, it gives a stun.
Oh yeah, exactly. They have almost the same feature, right? Except it puts the Kagura's body in harm's way.
But then again, advantage of Kagura is he is not limited by that stun. He has the Shogyu Mogyu as well. He has the Yin Yang overturn just to make a slow count. He has a stun, he has a slow, and it's the same as Popol and Koopa. Popol and Koopa has a thing about traps and putting the map control, and for Blacklist International with the Kagura, it's more on the idea of just having extra crowd control now and then inside this Kagura umbrella.
Yep, and for some people, it's better because usually Kagura has better damage output depending on what stage of the game it is. Popol and Koopa just has more sustain because it's two heroes. It's almost like two heroes, right? 2 HP more. That means more sustain, but obviously it's more of crowd control, less on damage. And so far, the Kagura is definitely one of those picks that can work well as long as you don't expect it to be the main focus.
But right now, Blacklist International, they're just going in, trying to take down everything. The Mountain Shocker is here, but that information is very limited, and they know what Blacklist International is doing right now. They're just pushing in the waves. They're just pushing in the lanes. Next Play Solid here. What can they do? They do have the Hilda, but Yaoi here is not really having the best game of his life.
Yep, I mean the Hilda was okay. It was a good pick, but it's going into the roaming support Hilda. Don't forget it has that mask, so it's a little softer than the usual lane Hildas that we've seen. But again, that's the trade-off. You get a lot of early game toughness, and you exchange it for late game supremacy, which is what's happening right now.
MB in a very bad spot right now. At least he has his ultimate, and with that ultimate in mind, Blacklist International won't really go for the engage because number one, he's not really the best target at this point. Mountain Shocker will be used. On the bottom lane, there is a push. Pressure. Blacklist International, they're just doing it right now. And what do you think can Next Play Solid do, Rockhard?
Man, they really have to find full clip here, but that's becoming difficult because if you'll notice, no one can crowd control the link. You cannot catch this link with anyone. And that's becoming the big problem here. No hard CC equals this link's just gonna fly if you do a little bit of damage to it. And that's the reason why not a lot 7-0 so far. Make that 8.
You know what? MB here at a very bad spot. Fatal Links will catch 2. And look at this full clip going ham. Dashing in, dashing out, poking everyone inside. And that is going to be another skirmish onto the side of Blacklist International. And we still have a 0-11 score in this game.
What did Full Clip have for breakfast? And Dexstar, the pick on the Lolita just nullified everything. H2O's long range, Chester's long range, and so far they cannot deal with it. I can't find a way for them to actually catch anyone. And again, I have to put emphasis on the escape mechanics, right? Because they have so much mobility, so much escape, that the decision to fight is always on the side of Blacklist here, like what we see right now.
Blacklist International, they're doing everything right. Into the map, the pressure, all the objectives, even the buff. It's not going to the side of Next Play Solid. This is the first time I've seen Bison Shin use the Mountain Shocker to, probably just try and escape ganks. It's the other way around. It just feels weird. It feels really weird.
I remember last game when they were using it to find targets that Aqua was gonna fight. This time around, they're using it to find the areas where they have to run to, and that means that Next Play Solid is definitely having a hard time in getting that gold and getting into the fights this time around.
And Blacklist International, man, my goodness, Rockhart, we haven't seen a perfect game from any team. This might be it. Will Next Play Solid get a kill and stop this from being a perfect game?
Come on, man. That's just wrong, right? I mean, the way they executed this game is just it's so bad if you make a perfect game out of this one. It'll feel really bad. So right now, they need to make a miracle work. No one can stop Focus. No one can hold him. No crowd controls to lock him down. That's the big problem. Now MB gonna be suffering the majority of that damage. Ren and J on the backside though, looking like he wants to finish this off as well, but no.
Blacklist International, they're really being cautious here. They're not letting Yawi and the others do whatever they want, and this might be a perfect game.
Oh my
Blacklist
God.
International, it's a 0-14. Blacklist International. Surgical extraction, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, that is, I have to say, congratulations on the 2-0 against a team like Next